Back in my day, you lousy kids get off my cyber lawn. So this is Alpha Trion. Age of the Primes, Alpha Trion. The epitome of, what if a robot were old? But this isn't the old version of Alpha Trion. No. This is the young version. So, Alpha Trion is basically on the council, but we don't give you the rank of Prime. Like, what would his name be if he did take Prime? Like, Alpha Primon? Alpha Trion Prime? They don't really sound that good. This particular version of Alpha Trion is like the young version of Alpha Trion, which we see in a G1 episode named War Dawn, where the aerial bots, see, there's a reason he's in a way connected to the aerial bots. They travel through time to before the war started, or just as the war was starting, and they see Megatron shoot and kill, or almost kill, Orion Pax, who would become Optimus Prime. And they bring him to Alpha Trion, and Alpha Trion rebuilds Orion Pax into Optimus Prime and gives him the Matrix, which he'd been keeping safe for millennia probably. And also, he rebuilds Orion Pax's girlfriend, Ariel, into Elita 1. And so he kind of maintains like a basically a robot Gandalf sort of thing, where he's like, he's old as hell and he knows how to fight, but you really shouldn't mess with him. And like he stays like a mentor to Optimus and Elita 1. Now, I've heard people have the theory that Dion, the third person who was gunned down alongside Orion and Ariel, should have been reformatted into Ultra Magnus. And if that actually happened, that'd be pretty cool. But Dion never really did anything. Like, he still got a legacy brand new figure alongside Ariel in like a 2-pack when he was like a remold of Orion Pax, who himself was a remold of the most recent Studio Series Cup figure. And that Orion Pax came with an older version of Alpha Trion, who was a remold of Studio Series Scourge. This guy seems to be remolded from Scourge quite a bit. Or that one time he was remolded from Vector Prime, like Cybertron Vector Prime. He rarely ever gets a figure all on his own, except this time, because I guess he earned it. Saved up enough points to finally get a brand new figure of himself without anybody else getting their hands on it yet. So let's check out Alpha Trion with his head sculpt first. Looks good. I like the sort of glasses and white mustache. Although apparently at some points in War Dawn his mustache was more black. But I guess this is more accepted. Are we over robots having mustaches yet? No, because it's awesome. And he does eventually get an even bigger one. Yeah, when we see him in the current timeline, not in the flashback, his facial hair is that big. Like, how did it grow? I guess it's not worth asking. Big robot Gandalf vibes. And in TF1 he turns into a lion. But this isn't the TF1 version. We'll talk about that another day, eventually when I get him. But this guy, he's pretty cool. I like his color scheme. The purple and the almost... No, it's just maroon and silver. Work pretty well. Purple Autobots are kind of rare. So it gets like Impactor, Nautica, who's from the IDW cartoon... Nautica, who's from the IDW comics. Like, purple looks cool. He does have a small backpack. It's not the worst backpack I've ever seen. But he does hide this piece. Excuse me. Would you like to remove yourself from his butt? There you go. You can... He looks good. He does. That head is not on a ball joint, unfortunately. It's on a hinge and a swivel. So it doesn't really look that natural. He's either really tucked in or doing that. But it goes full 360. Shoulders universal. Go all the way, go out. You can even move the shoulder pad if you want. Or you can remove these little nubbins and put them other places if you want. It's up to you. It's your figure. You do what you want. Move that bicep swivel. Unfortunately, due to the transformation, he doesn't have a wrist, and he has an empty gap where his wrist goes, but he's got an opening hand. That's something, right? Right? Sure. His waist rotates. He's got hips with the skirts that move up. And they can move up all the way. No back skirt, but you do have to move the backpack. You do have full swing. He was very good at high kicks in his young age. Probably not so much later in life, but, young him, young Sprog, pull off a pretty good high kick. And a thigh swivel, along with 90-degree knee bend. Your standard way too high and sculpt destroying ankle tilt. And he does have a heel joint and a toe joint. But you can only bend that far with the heel spur out. And he can't really stand up without the heel spur. Because it fits inside of his feet. So he doesn't have a good standing base because it's a tiny ridge right there. Overall, I like him. Alpha Trion is a character we really don't see that often. He hasn't made very many appearances cartoon-wise since G1. I think he did show up in animated, and that's about it. And he's done some IDW comic book stuff, but he really doesn't show up very much. So whenever he does, I could have got the Legacy version, but I wasn't a fan of just remolding. Oh, he also has a limbo joint, a back, he can limbo. And you can use it as a bit of an ab crunch as well. That is very rare nowadays, an ab crunch, even if it's only that much. It's still nice to have. So yeah, he's got more posability than I thought. So that's cool. I like to think of those right there as like cybernetic veins pulsing energon through his body. He is very cool. Accessories, well, we already showed off one, and you can kind of use it as a shield. Although I believe in the package it was flipped around like this, which honestly makes no difference. It just stores better in the other configuration. But he has a shield, and he has two of possibly the best accessories I've ever seen. He's got a little book. Little book that he can hold and read, because it is actually fully featured. This is the Covenant of Primus. Does that basically make it a Bible? I think. But like, it's got 2 pages. It's just a little book. Little tiny book. Translucent red pages that are kind of a pain in the ass to open, but just a little book. Anybody want to translate that? Take a screenshot? I don't know which way it should be held, if it should be held like that. I can't get over it. Just has a little book. Little book. No gun, no melee weapon. Well, he might have a melee weapon if you're mad enough. So he can hold his book like that. He comes with a pen. He comes with a legit-ish quill pen. Like, it's a freaking, it's a quill. Like, that is awesomely hilarious. You can slide it in his hand. And he can write with the effectiveness of a toddler at a restaurant. Like, the box art shows him, writing properly as you would, like, with a pen in your fingers. This, he's just, me draw good. And he doesn't really have the range to... I stand corrected. He can write in his little book. And, if he wants to pull a John Wick, he can stab a dumbass in the face with his pen. It'll probably be effective. And he's not even done there, because those are cool, but he has a removable Autobot symbol that is a pain in the ass to get out of if you don't have like a flat tool. But he has a removable Autobot badge. It's pegged in. You can plug it into his hand. It is a reference to War Dawn, to him like converting Autobots to be more battle ready, because at that point in the timeline, like, the Decepticons are uprising, and previously the Autobots had pretty much just been like government, so they really weren't ready to fight. They weren't built to fight. But the Decepticons started getting built specifically to fight. Like, Megatron started creating Decepticons to fight. He's one of the first that could actually fly on his own. That was kind of like, he used, in the episode War Dawn, he used his sort of linguistic skills to befriend Orion. But the big hubbub was like, there's a new robot who can fly. Like, a new type of robot that can fly. Turns out to be like Megatron. But You can give this to other robots if you want, but we're going to plug it back into his belly and get him to transform. So first, fold in the hands, fold down the feet. We're going to plug them together sideways. Also, I didn't even mention articulation. This particular thigh joint, you can hear that kind of squeaking a little bit. It's a little bit too tight. And I really don't want to play with it that much because I don't like that sound and it could get worse. So take these pieces that were his kneecaps. We're going to fold them up and just out of the way. Fold his head down and rotate the waist, because I missed that the first time I was trying to transform it and I couldn't figure out the next steps on what was going wrong. So like, we're going to open this, fold this piece over his head, fold this back in, and take these pieces that were tabbed in. They're on ball. Actually, they weren't tabbed in. They're just in ball joints. But we're going to rotate them, and then we're going to bring his ab section up, and this is going to fold over and lock together like that. And then these pieces are going to come down and just sort of rest there. Yeah, they don't really tab in anywhere. They just kind of sit there. And then fold his arms up, and his arms are going to tab in like that. And now we can take the chest panel and fully extend it. And it's going to use the peg and that slot where it was tabbed in robot mode. And that's going to make a sort of makeshift flight stand. And the book and the pen each can tab in. So the book is going to peg right there. And the quill or pen is going to peg in basically wherever you see a tab. You can put it right there. There's one on the other side. I don't think there are any more that'll fit, but there you go. There's Alpha Trion in his weird-ass Cybertronian spaceship mode. And I can see why they would use Scourge for him, because this is very Scourge coded. Sure, it's got its differences, obviously, and it's like, but like the head is right there. It's like, you can't tell me that's not a Scourge feature to pop up and get gut Ultra Magnus. He's got a cockpit. Why's he got a cockpit if no one's driving? Well, apparently it fits Titan Masters. Not that I'm going to try it. I'm going to take TF Wiki's word for it because I can't get the damn thing open. I think you could fit a small tool right at the front of it to open it, but I guess I'll give it a go. I don't like it, but nope, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's creaking. I don't like it. I'm sure somebody else has shown it off, so we'll just pretend that. No. Whatever this alt mode is, it's pretty cool. It's solid. It holds together. Although maybe the accessories don't hold together as well as they could. Like the book feels like it can just, oh, I can just open. That's much more of a solid connection than I expected. And it can fly. I guess these bits also act like wings, because this thing really doesn't have wings at all. And no even theoretical means of propulsion. Like, no, I don't even see any engines or anything. Like, so I don't know how, like, it even gets off the ground to start with. But, you know, I still think he's cool. Even if the alt mode kind of isn't your cup of tea, it's not horrible. I still think the robot mode is really cool. There's a port for a gun, but he doesn't come with a gun. And like the pen isn't a 5mm peg connection, so like here, let's take this gun from Devastator because it's purple. There, it fits in. Now we can shoot things. A pew pew, a pew pew, pew pew. So, yep. That's Alpha Trion. He's a weird robot Gandalf with a weird spaceship mode. And he's had many different retcons over the years. But like, I think the IDW one is stuck the most. Like the whole creating of Optimus Prime and all, and Elita 1 have kind of stood the test of time. If you're looking for an Alpha Trion and you didn't go for the Legacy version, or you did go for the Legacy version but you want one to look like the younger version, then this guy is probably your go-to. I know there are some non-transforming ones out on the market, on the third-party market, or even licensed by Hasbro or licensed from Hasbro. So if you want a non-transforming one, there are probably a ways to get it. You know, I like this guy. He's cool. I'm sure he has a lot to teach me. I just have to be in the right mind to listen. I think right now he's saying like and subscribe for more whenever it's not 1984. Until next time, keep it weird. Bye.